I was standing in my own kitchen, holding my husband's phone, when I saw the text that destroyed my life. It was open, just sitting there on the counter while he was in the shower. I wasn't snooping, I swear I wasn't. His alarm was going off and I went to silence it, but the notification was right there on the screen. From Emma, my best friend since university. The Emma who'd been my maid of honor. The Emma who came over every Sunday for brunch. The preview was enough. I can't wait either. Just one more week, and we can finally. My hands were shaking when I unlocked it. I knew his passcode. We'd never had secrets. Or so I thought. I scrolled up. Just a little. Just enough. Divorce is final next week. Then it's just you and me, babe. No more hiding. My breath stopped. The room tilted. I read it again. And again. The timestamp was from 20 minutes ago, while I was downstairs making him breakfast. While I was humming along to the radio, cracking eggs, thinking about how lucky I was. But that wasn't even the worst part, because when I scrolled up further, I saw the photos of them together in our bed, in the bed I was sleeping in every single night. And then I saw the date on the first message in the thread. 2 years ago. They'd been planning this for 2 years. And I was about to discover that the divorce he mentioned, I never filed for one. But somehow, according to these texts, it was already happening that I stood there, frozen, phone burning in my palm like evidence at a crime scene. The shower was still running upstairs. Steam probably fogging up the mirror. Him probably humming that same annoying song he always did. Completely unaware that I just uncovered the architecture of my own destruction. My mind couldn't catch up. It kept looping back through memories, trying to find the crack, the moment it all started to rot. But everything felt solid just 5 minutes ago. Everything felt real. Let me take you back. Not far. Just far enough to show you how perfect the lie was. My name's Claire. I'm 34. I'd been with Marcus for 9 years. Married for 6. We met at a mate's wedding. Cliché, I know. And he was everything I didn't know I needed. Steady. Kind. The type who remembered my coffee order and actually listened when I talked about my day. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. I worked in marketing for a small tech firm. He was a civil engineer. We had a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, a dog named Biscuit, and one of those lives that looks boring from the outside but feels like a warm blanket when you're living it. Emma had been my person since we were 18. We survived university together, bad boyfriends together, hangovers that should have killed us. When I met Marcus, she was the first person I called. When he proposed, she cried harder than my mom. She was there. For everything. She was also single. Had been for a while. A string of bad dates. Worse relationships. I'd spent countless nights on her couch with wine, letting her vent about men who didn't deserve her. I told her, over and over, that she'd find someone. That she was brilliant and beautiful, and any man would be lucky. I never thought she'd decide that man was mine. The Sunday brunches started about 3 years ago. Marcus suggested it, actually. Said Emma seemed lonely, that we should include her more. I thought it was sweet, thoughtful. We'd make pancakes, she'd bring pastries, we'd sit in the garden and laugh about nothing. She and Marcus got along so well. Joked around. Talked about work. I loved it. I loved that my 2 favorite people loved each other. God, I was so stupid. The shower shut off upstairs. I heard the pipes groan. My heart launched into my throat. I couldn't be holding his phone when he came down. I couldn't let him see my face. I set it down exactly where it had been. Screen off. Casual. Like I hadn't just seen my entire life revealed as a stage play I wasn't in on. Then I walked to the sink. Turned on the tap. Splashed cold water on my face. Stared at myself in the window's reflection. I looked the same. Same brown eyes. Same freckles across my nose. Same person. But I wasn't. Not anymore. Because the woman staring back at me didn't know that her husband had been cheating on her for 2 years. Didn't know her best friend had been sleeping in her bed. Didn't know that apparently, somehow, a divorce was being finalized. A divorce I never filed for. That's when I remembered the envelope point 3 weeks earlier. An envelope had arrived. Plain. Manila. Addressed to me. No return address. I'd opened it at the kitchen table, expecting junk mail or some solicitation. Inside was a single piece of paper. A photocopy of a document. A divorce petition. With my signature at the bottom. Except I'd never signed it. I'd never even seen it. I'd laughed it off. Told Marcus someone was pranking us, or it was a clerical error. He'd looked at it, frowned, said it was probably just spam, some scam thing. We threw it away. I forgot about it. But now, standing in that kitchen, water still dripping from my chin, I realized someone had filed for divorce in my name. I grabbed my laptop. Opened it right there on the counter. My hands were trembling so badly, I mistyped my password twice. Finally, I got into my email. Started searching. Divorce. Legal. Petition. Nothing. I checked my spam folder. My trash. Still nothing. Then I checked my sent folder. And there it was. An email I never sent. To a law firm I'd never heard of. Dated 4 months ago. It confirmed receipt of my signed divorce documents and stated that proceedings were moving forward. My stomach dropped into my feet. I clicked on my account settings. Scrolled down to devices and activity. And there it was. My email had been accessed from an IP address I didn't recognize. Multiple times. Always when I was at work. Someone had been in my email, sending messages, deleting responses, controlling the entire narrative. Marcus came downstairs, towel around his waist, smiling. Morning, love. Smells amazing. I turned, looked at him. This man I'd built a life with. This man who was supposed to be my partner. Morning, I said. My voice sounded normal. I don't know how. He kissed my forehead, grabbed his phone off the counter, didn't even glance at me, just walked into the living room, scrolling. I wanted to scream, to throw the laptop at him, to demand answers. But something stopped me. If I confronted him now, he'd have time to cover his tracks, to get Emma on the same page, to spin the story. No. I needed to know everything first. That night, I installed spyware on his phone. And what I found made the affair look like a bloody footnote. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not sorry either. I waited until he was asleep. Downloaded an app one found on some dodgy forum. It mirrored his phone activity to mine. Texts, calls, photos, GPS, everything. For 2 days, I watched. I watched him text Emma between meetings. Watched him tell her he loved her while sitting 3 feet away from me on the couch. Watched him search for flats near her neighborhood. But then I found the group chat. It was called Project C. Just Marcus, Emma, and someone named David. I didn't know a David. I scrolled back. Months of messages. David was a lawyer, Emma's cousin, and the 3 of them had orchestrated the entire thing. The plan was simple, really. Elegant even in its cruelty. They'd hacked my email, used an app to forge my signature on documents, filed for divorce on my behalf, making it look like I wanted out. Meanwhile, Marcus would play the devastated husband, confused, heartbroken. He'd already moved money, our money, into accounts I didn't have access to, refinanced the house in his name only using forged documents, even changed the beneficiary on his life insurance. By the time the divorce was final, I'd have nothing. No house, no savings, no recourse. And Emma? She'd swoop in, the supportive friend, the shoulder to cry on. She'd comfort Marcus through his tragic divorce. And eventually they'd go public. Everyone would think it was a natural progression, that they'd found love in the aftermath of my abandonment. I'd be the villain, the wife who walked away for no reason. They'd get everything, the house, the life, the sympathy, and I'd get nothing but blame. But they made one mistake. They underestimated how well I knew them both that I spent the next 3 days screenshotting everything. Every text, every document, every transaction. I sent it all to a secure cloud account they couldn't access. Then I called a lawyer. A real one. One who specialized in fraud. Turns out, forging someone's signature on legal documents is a crime. A serious one. And hacking someone's email? Also illegal. The money transfers, the refinancing, all of it could be undone. Especially with the evidence I had. My lawyer was almost giddy. Said it was the most clear-cut case of fraud and identity theft she'd seen in years. But I didn't want to just undo it. I wanted them to feel it. So I played along. I acted normal. Kept making breakfast. Kept smiling. Kept texting Emma about brunch plans. And then, 2 days before the divorce was supposed to finalize, I made my move.
I invited Emma over.
Told her I needed to talk. That I was struggling. That I thought something was wrong with my marriage. She came, of course. Played the concerned friend. Sat on my couch, sipping tea, telling me everything would be okay. And that's when I played the recording. I'd set up my laptop beforehand. Queued up the video I'd compiled. Every text, every photo, every message in Project C. Her face went white, then red, then white again. Claire, Don't, I said. My voice was calm, cold. I'm not here for your excuses. I'm here to tell you that I've already filed a police report. For identity theft. For fraud. For conspiracy. My lawyer has everything. So does the court. She stood. Started backing toward the door. And Emma? I smiled. I've already told your work. Sent them the evidence that you helped commit fraud. You're a financial advisor. I'm sure they'll love knowing you helped forge legal documents. She left without another word. Marcus came home an hour later. I was waiting. I didn't yell. Didn't cry. Just handed him the folder. Divorce papers, I said. Real ones this time. With my actual signature. You'll also find a lawsuit for fraud, a police report, and a restraining order. You've got 24 hours to move out. He tried to argue. To explain. To minimize. I just walked away. The divorce took 8 months. The criminal case took longer. Marcus and Emma both pled guilty to avoid trial. They got probation, fines, and criminal records. David, the lawyer cousin, was disbarred. I got the house. The savings. Everything they tried to take. But more than that, I got my life back. The real one. Not the one they'd scripted for me. I'm not going to lie. It broke me for a while. Therapy helped. Time helped. Learning to trust again, that's still a work in progress. But I'm here, still standing. And they're not. Sometimes late at night, I think about that moment in the kitchen. Holding his phone. Seeing those texts. And I'm grateful. Because if I hadn't seen it, I'd still be living the lie. Still making breakfast for a man who was planning my destruction. Still calling a woman my best friend who was sleeping in my bed. The truth destroyed me. But it also set me free. You know, after everything, I've realized something. The worst betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from the people we trust most. If this story made you feel something, maybe you've been there too. Or maybe you're scared you could be. Either way, you're not alone. None of us are. And sometimes, just knowing someone else survived it? If this story made you trust your gut a little more, hit like. Share it as a silent warning to anyone who might need it. And if you've ever found the proof that set you free, tell me. I documented it in the comments. Sometimes, seeing you're not alone is the first piece of evidence.